So good day, everybody. So for those that missed yesterday class, I'll just be giving like a brief summary of what we did yesterday and what we spoke about yesterday, so you guys don't feel completely left out. So we defined three ways of running JavaScript. So you can run JavaScript in your terminal. You can also run JavaScript with your IDE. You can also run JavaScript in your browsers. And there are different ways to declare variables. We spoke about using the var, the let, and the const. And we said var is not advisable to declare variables. Why? Is because var is very weak. So you're using the var, tend to make mistakes and introduce bugs to your code. Preferably use the let or the const. And ideally, if you're using the const, it mean that your variable is constant. It's not changing anytime soon. So const is more or less like a long-term thing. Then let is like a short-term thing, or you can tend to modify its data. We also went on to discuss how to declare variables that are accessible to functions globally, then how to declare variables that are accessible to just a block and also to a function. Do you understand? So today we'll be discussing data types. And unlike other programming languages, there are different types of data. So we'll start from string. Someone raising up their hand. I'll put that instance. Divine, you were saying something.
Hi,
Divine,
good morning, sir.
how good morning.
Yes, I can hear you. I was only wanting to tell you that you should please zoom the screen so that we can see.
Okay,
Because I don't know if that is the can't really see it now.
I'll do that now. Um, let's. Is it better now?
Yes,
Is it
it's
better
better
now?
for
Yeah,
me.
yes, it is.
I apologize for that. So now we'll be talking about data types. So I'll start a new line here and I'll say data types. So according to programming, there are different types of data types. And data types, depending on who's telling you or where you're checking, you have the strings. So strings are like the alphabets, words, the letters. They are called strings. So anything that is not a number, basically, but that consists of letters, words, or sentences are called strings. So there are ways to check it. So let's go on and say const string is equals to. Now we can say divine couldn't did not see the screen. So this is a sentence. But what we've done now, we've appended the sentence to this variable. So now this is a string basically because what it's a word, it's a sentence, it's a letter. So the data type is a string. And it varies in different kinds. You can say letter is equals to is const, word is equals to comment. So all these types are data are strings basically. So if it's not a number, then and it contains letter or words or alphabets, you can basically type that string. And there's a way to check what type of data the JavaScript is holding. So let's say console log. Let's console log. Console log. So if you do type of, then let's say string. Let's use letter as first thing. So now I'm asking JavaScript, what is the type of this data? So ordinarily now, check our console. Let's go back to our console. Um, open with that server. Let's pop our console open. So we can see that the type is string. Let me remove this other function here. So let's refresh our page and see. So basically, I'm asking JavaScript, what is the type of letter? And it's telling me the type of letter is string. So you can use type of to check data type in JavaScript. So we'll talk about string. Number one, string. So let's go to the next one. The next one is numbers. So numbers basically, as the world, as we all know what numbers are, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, from 1 to infinity, and also decimals. So they are categorically how like it is. There are different ways to identify numbers because there's like the big int. So big ints are like that's the big integers, the ones that are like raised to power 7,000, 7,000,000, all those. There's some data type you work with that you expect gigantic values. So they group them as the big ints or the big integer. Do you understand? But on like the normal scope or leveling scope, they are known as
Sorry,
numbers.
sorry, please. I want to say something. People are turning on their videos. Please turn off your video now.
Okay, kindly turn off your video. I'm not sure what your point is. So numbers basically represent numeric values that includes integers or floating points or decimal places. So we can say our number one now is 47. We can also say const number 2 is equal to 3.14. It's supposed to be the value for pi. So now let's check now the type of number one. So if we go back to our console and see, let's refresh. You see number pop up here. So we have the strings, we have the number. Let's also confirm for our number two. Number if we also come to our console, we are expected to see number. So we talked about string, talk about number. Our next value that we're talking about is called the boolean. So boolean basically is just true or false, and that's all to it. So a data can be true, it can be false. So I can say,
Sorry, yeah. Hello?
yeah, Divine, go
Hello?
on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, sorry. Am I the only one not seeing your console? Like, I'm actually not seeing the screen. I'm not seeing the numbers, not at all. I'm just seeing the first page. I don't know if I'm the only one not seeing this.
Can you
You're
confirm?
the only one.
It's your
I'm seeing your
network.
screen.
Can you guys see my screen?
I
Yes,
can
sir.
see
Yes,
your
sir.
Yes.
screen. Like, I can actually see your screen. Like,
But
I
you
can
can't
see
see
the code you're writing, but I can't see the effect of the code.
I'm seeing the screen. It's on the browser.
let's make it bigger. Can you guys see?
Yes, it's
Yeah, yeah,
better
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. It's better
Yeah,
now.
I can see.
But I'm not used to seeing
Sorry,
things.
I'm not seeing. Sorry, I'm actually not seeing the effect of the code. Like the page is blank. I don't know if I'm
No,
the
So
only
this
one.
look
this
to your
my
right.
point is here.
Look to your
Look
right.
at these are
Not
my
the language.
these are my stuff. Let me change this one to put it up so we don't get all those. So hold on. Let's check the function. So can you see the number here? Divine, can you see the number?
I'm not seeing the numbers. I don't think I'm the only one not seeing the numbers. What I can see on
Okay.
the screen, like,
Hello,
Look at my
hello.
mouse.
I think you, sorry, I think your screen probably you have zoomed in such that you are not seeing that size. Probably you should like
Can you see what I'm trying?
zoom out a bit. If you can't see what he's cycling green now, then zoom out a bit.
Can
okay,
you
okay,
can you
okay.
see what
Yeah,
I'm trying
I
to
think
do?
yeah,
Does that solve the
yeah,
problem?
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
I
thank you.
zoomed in. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, okay, so let me remove that. So let's continue. So basically, I've talked about string type of string type and number type. Now we'll go on to talk about Boolean. So Boolean basically is just true or false. There are no two ways about it. So they can give you a data type, or you might expect a data type. They say, okay, is the switch on? Is that true the switch is on, or false the switch is on? There's no two ways about it. So you can say const switch on. Is the first switch. Now there's an error here. Who can correct me? From those that attended yesterday's class, who can correct me? What am I doing wrong here?
The hyphen you use.
God bless you. Thank you very much. So basically, I'm supposed to use the hyphen. What am I supposed to use?
Camel kissing. Camel kissing.
Capital.
Underscore.
God bless you. Yes, you can use underscore.
Capital.
The camel case. I like that you guys remember from last class. So basically, there are ways to use your variables. If you watch the last, then get the notes. But I'm using this as a refresher. So basically, the switch is on. It's either the switch is on or it's not on. There's no in between. So if we come back here and say type of switch on, I will go back to our function and check. We are expected to see. Let's refresh this. It's a Boolean. So Boolean basically is the true statement or the false statement. Now our next type of statement is the undefined. Now undefined, if you guys remember from the last classes, I spoke about let, and I said we can use let as an initializer. So I'll illustrate that to you now. So number 4 is undefined. Undefined. Yeah. So let's say let's define, using define more now. Apologize for that. So let's define what? I'm just initializing define. I'm not saying define should hold anything. I'm not saying define should do anything. So basically, define is what? Undefined, because she's not doing anything. And let's confine that. Let's say let's check the value of define. If we go and check our function and refresh, you can see it's undefined, meaning that there's no attribute attached to it. Define is not doing anything, it's just there. So basically, the data type is undefined. Then we'll move to our next one. And please, if you have any questions, can you just pop it up on the chat box and send them after I finish. So we also have null. So null and undefined are somehow similar, but very different. So undefined is like a variable that has been declared, but it's not assigned a value or a function. Now, null simply means an absence of any value. Do you understand? So let's say number 5, and we can say let's null, let's my null.
Hello, sir. Please, is there a way you can scroll up so that I will be able to see what you are typing very well?
Okay. Like this here.
Yes, scroll it up. Yes, better. Thank you.
No problem, you're welcome. So now I'm saying let's my null equals null. So if you get a data and the value is null, what it simply means is there is an absence of value attached to it. There's no, like, it's intentional. I'm saying, okay, this thing, I don't want anything to be in it. So therefore, it's null. Now, the difference simply is for undefined, you've initialized it, but you have not attached a value to it yet. Do you understand? I made mention of this yesterday, that you can use let in a case that, okay, you have plans for this particular value, but for now, I don't have what to do with the value. So I'll just keep it aside. In that case, the data type is undefined because you've initialized it and you've not assigned a value to it. But for null, absence of any value for that variable is called null. You get to understand it as you go further. But for now, just keep it in mind that undefined is data that is assigned but not giving a value, but null is the absence of any value. So that's like basically it. And there are also other types of data and but primarily these are the 5 types. So let's go on and check for array. So that is a data type named array. So let's say array, I'll try and put it in like layman terms now. Array is more or less like a tray. So remember in our house, I want to serve, let's say, a visitor food. You take a tray, you put butter on the tray, you put rice on the tray, you put meat on the tray, then you put, let's say, the stew on the tray. Now, this tray now is basically holding different items. So array is more or less same. So array is like holding different items, and they serve that. Okay, for instance, now you don't want to assign because how it makes it easier now. Let's say for instance, if you come to this string now, we have constraint, then we have divine did not see the screen. We also have 3 strings there. Do you understand? And it's basically stressful for us to indicate this kind of string all over our code. But with array, we can actually group them, then let one variable hold everything. And I will illustrate that to us now. But just put it in mind that array is like a tray that holds different items. So it makes it more easier. Instead of going to the kitchen to bring water, drop it on the visitor's table, then go back to the kitchen and bring rice, come and drop it on the visitor's table, go back to the kitchen and bring stew. No, with a tray now, you can put everything together at once, then take it to the visitor. So I will illustrate what I mean by that now. So let's say array, let's say const visitors food. Visitors is equals to an array. So this array is like an array. The array is just the square brackets. You can use the square brackets to initialize an array. So anything you put inside now is the data that array will hold. So let's start with water. And if you notice what I did here, okay, let me do 2 things then. I'll explain to us the difference. Now who can explain to me what they noticed for what we've done here? So there are 2 water basically. There's one it goes and there's one without it. So who can explain, or anybody has an idea before I start explaining what is the difference between
I think one is a string.
One
is a string.
Okay, and the other is the
Um,
variable. God bless you. God bless you. That's the word. One is a string and the other is a variable. So if, for instance, now we have okay, let's say we have this string here. So instead of putting divine could not see both the string, we can instead put string here. Do you understand? And I'll illustrate that to us now. So let me console the log visitors and let's see what's pop up on the screen. Ideally, who can tell me what you're expecting to see? Who can tell me? Anybody?
We are going to see water. Then divine could not see the screen.
Why we not see water and screen?
Because you gave the string a value of divine could not be you gave it a value, the variable value of divine could not see the string before.
So as we all know there now, there's a value of there's water that initialized with the string. Then also JavaScript automatically converts the divine we placed in there and replace it with divine we don't see string. Because why? This particular string here is holding this value. So if JavaScript wants to use it, instead of using string here, it takes what is here and use. So we can also say letter and check our console now. What we see is water and ABC. It's as easy as that. So there are 2 ways, or there are 2 things you should put here. If you are putting an array, or if you are initializing data types in an array, you should be very careful, because if I just come here and say water, let's watch what will happen if I say water. If I go back, I get an error. Water is not defined, because nowhere in my code am I saying water is anything. Do you understand? So one is a variable. Without a quote, it's a variable. But if you're adding a quote, then it's a data type. And if you're making it a variable, make sure that you're holding something and it's already initialized. If not, get an error. So let's go back to our code. Let's say rice. Then let's say stew. And let's say um, so this is an array, and this array is holding 4 different items. Now it's almost the same thing as saying const water is equals to water. Then we'll come and say rice is equals to rice. And we'll come and say stew is equals to stew. They also come and say it is equals to meat. What we've done now is a very, very long process. We initialize everything one by one. Then once we use our code, we start using it like this. It's extremely stressful. So array basically is more or less like a trade and hold item. And you can put as much as you like different types of data type. And I can still come and say const array 1 is equals to I hold an array and I'll say define. I'll use define strings with each state, and I'll say 2, and I'll say 12, and I'll say null, and I can say undefined. So if you notice now, let's construct our array. If you go back to our console, everything will pop there now, showing here. You understand? So an array can hold different types of data types. And for that, I would okay, let's discuss more. Then we'll come back, we'll visit this array. We want to give us other data types. And we also have one that we call objects. Now, this is like one of the most important data types in JavaScript, the objects and the array, because we are working with large number of data or large amount of data. They most likely put it in an object for you. Now let's say const person. Now this person, let's say now thank you. The name is divine, and let's say divine is 30. Her height is 5 feet 11, and her rise is rise. Now I have an object of a particular person named divine. I can come again and say, let me come to the chat and let's check for random name. Abel. Let's use Abel. Now let's say const person 2. Person 2 is equals to. We'll say our name 2 is equals to Abel. Then we say age Abel, not Abel. Just one Abel. Yes. Then we'll say the age of Abel is most likely 45. I'm assuming I don't know age. And let's say Abel's height is let's say 6'5". And let's say Abel's favorite is Eba. Now, yep. So if you note something, just note how we have profiled this particular individual as each object. This is the perfect way to group also many items, but having a particular key. If you know the difference now, for an array, we don't know which one is which. Do you understand? We all know this is what the visitor would drink. This is what the visitor would eat. This is what the visitor would put on the rice, and this is what the visitor would chew after eating. But it's not defined here. We don't know which is which. Do you understand? But for an object now, we have the key items and we also have the value attached to it. So we know the name of this particular person is divine. We also know the age of this particular person is 30. We also know the height of this particular person. So if you notice now that like they are constant to each other, do you understand? Because with an object, you can provide a key and also what indicates that key. So there's a key and there's a value. You can call this key and you can call this value. So this is the key and this is the value. So for name is defined, for name is able for age. So with this, you've made up an object. Now you can also put many things in this object. Do you understand? You can also come here and say school. If I say school, and I still come back and say school is also an object. The school is primary school, is let's say primary. Primary, let's say she went to Lagoon. Let's say school called Lagoon in Lagos. And in secondary, he went to let's say um, random school, GSS. GSS. Then for the university, let's say he went to University of Ibadan. So now if you notice, there's an object, it's an object, but everything is embedded inside one object. So you have the name of the person, age of the person, height of the person, the favorite food of the person. But now there's a school, and for that school, we've also grouped it in a way that we've indicated the primary school she went to, secondary school she went to rather, and the university school she went to. So this is how objects work. You can also include function in an object. You can also include array in an object. So this should give you like an overview of what object means. We'll still come back to objects. Then we'll talk about how to access values in objects, how to change values in objects. But for now, let's just have an overview of what an object is. Then for the other one, let's talk about the function. We talked about this yesterday, but very briefly. The function. So functions basically are a block of code that does something. Do you understand? So you can execute it once, you can define it once, and execute it in many places. Do you understand? And the one we used yesterday the most is adding two numbers. So if you can see now, this is a function that adds two numbers. And what the function does is you accept, let's make it three numbers because I've already defined three numbers, and let's add. Let's see. So this is a function that has three numbers. Now, how this function is designed is we don't know what numbers are coming in. Do you understand? But we've already made arrangement that okay, if I'm using this function, then I'm going to use it to add three numbers. So the user is going to provide three numbers, and you are returning addition of those three numbers back to the user. Do you understand? So this is how you ordinarily define a function. You can do it in another way. You can say function. You can say function. Then let's go and say add some numbers. Then you can put a plus. Sorry, it's comma I'm supposed to use. Comma, and you can come in and do this. So if you notice now, there are two functions here, but I define them separately. Do you understand? So I'm using the function and I'm doing this. So you have your function, you have the variable that you're defining, you have the attribute or property you're expecting, and you also have curly brace. So this is where all the magic happens. You can as well say return A plus B plus C here. So everything that happens or everything that will take place is going to take place inside this curly brace. So you can perform as much magic you want to perform inside this curly brace. And it happens just in that block. Do you understand? But you can also use arrow function to also pick up your function. So you have your const. So this is like the initializer, this is your variable. You are saying it's equals to a bracket. It depends on which is most preferable to you. Personally, I use this method, and it's just for personal reasons. There are times where you are advised to use this, and there are times where it's most preferable to use this. But personally, I just choose to use this because it's cleaner to me and it's more readable to me. but it boils down to what you want and preference you choose. So as you can see, initialize this. Now we'll do something again, and this like also a mind games for our yesterday's class guys that class yesterday. So I'll do something and you guys will correct me because I know I'm going to be wrong. So let's say add 3 numbers, then the numbers we're adding, let's say 5, 6, and 7. So I'm expected to see something on the console. I'm expected to see the addition of 5, 6, and 7 on the console. So let's go to our console and check what we have. Let me remove this define so you don't confuse us. Yep. So our console is empty. Who knows why our console is empty? It's not supposed to be empty. Anybody? Let's go back to our programs. Our
We
console is
didn't lock out the. You didn't lock the. You didn't also lock the value of the console you called.
So for you to have access to a particular value or something identity test, you have to use console.log. So once you use console.log, then it's going to appear in console. And there are different types of console dots. So I'll illustrate that to us now. There are from console.table, console.error, console.one. So these are the types of console that are available on this particular JavaScript property. But the most used one is console.log. Console is console.table, console.error, console.one, blah, blah, blah. And the reason why we say console.log is for us to show us the value in our console or the terminal. So if we come here and see 18, and let's try and add the numbers together. So 5 plus 6 is equals to 11. 11 plus 7 is equals to 18. So ideally, our number is correct. So these are how you define a function. So we've talked about string type, number type, boolean type, the undefined type, the null type, array type, object type, and the function type. So let's go ahead and test it with our type of. Let's see what we are having. So we'll come here and say type of array1. I'll comment this one out. So let's see what we have. So it's yes. Now, perfect. What do we note here now? We saw an object, but what we are logging is an array. As you can see, we are logging an array, but what's displayed on our console is an object. Just briefly, I hinted it in our speech back then. Can anybody just thank you for always reminding me I'm not recording. I appreciate that. So basically, while we have an array as a type of object, is objects and arrays are similar, and for that reason, JavaScript group them into one body. And in as much as we are saying that, reason is that array has a key. I'll be going deep into arrays after this explanation. So array have a key, or more or less like an index. So if you notice now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 items here, and I'll quickly illustrate something now. So there's a method we can do on an array. We can check the length. So let's say visitors dot length. So you can actually check the length of an array. So what this does basically is just returning number. But who can tell me how many numbers you are expected to see? Because
4.
you have 4 items here, so we are going to see 4 numbers. So let's check our first one and see.
3.
We have yes, I'll explain why we have this one. Ideally, we're supposed to have 3 numbers on the console. Reason is how index work or how array work is the first item here is
Start
0.
from 0.
Yes, beautiful. The first item here is 0. Then you go to 1, then you go to 2, then you go to 3. So if, for instance, you are trying to work with an object, maybe the pop or the push or the unshift, I'll explain all this to you guys later on. But you should put it in mind that this is not 1, this is 1. So it's from 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Do you understand? So I've explained what array and what array and object has, like object and data type. So we'll go on and check the data type for this. You have function. Let's refresh. Yes, we have a function. Data type is a function. Now we'll go into array proper. But so far so good. Does anybody have any question concerning what we've done so far before I deep dive into array? Any
I'm sorry,
question?
I want to ask something about this function.
Okay.
I was not the last class. What does this this return did I say
Return
what
to the-
in that function? Yeah, return key in the
Okay.
function.
So
I see some
basically,
functions that are normally like without the return keyword.
yes, you can have a function without a keyword. Let's illustrate that. I can come here and say, let's a let's s. Now we've made this function, but there's no return keyword to it. Why why we use return keyword basically? You have to expose that value outside the function. Do you understand? So for instance, now
Mm.
we can say let's illustrate. Let's say a plus b plus c, and now let's add two of them. Do you understand? So ordinarily, now let me remove this. This is supposed to return 18 because 5 plus 6 plus 7 is 18. Do you understand? But we check our console now. What do we see? Undefined. Do you know why?
No.
Just initialize the value, but we're not returning it. So what this is now basically is just ABC. This 5, 6, 7 is not getting to it. Do you know why? Because we are returning it to know, okay, as you're returning it like this now, then every value here is assigned to what is indicated here. So this return value basically returns the action performed on this, exposing it outside the function. So if we come back and check again, we'll have our 18. Do you understand? And we'll do more on that if we are sizing our map keyword. Because,
I don't understand. I don't understand. Jesus.
you understand? Okay. I don't want to go too far.
It's a,
Now let's
it's a-
take it piece by piece. Do you understand? I don't want to rush it, but everything we do, because I'm not taking JavaScript, at least for now, yeah. And I'll make sure that I carry everybody along. Do you understand? What I want you guys to do is for every class we've had or we are going to have here, you guys should also take like a personal journey, a personal research on things we discussed. There's nothing you're looking for that's not on the internet, basically. I'll do my best to explain to you guys. But try and also like make research and check. For this particular function we're talking about, the return keyword here is to expose, let's look at exposing particular
Sorry,
action.
sorry. Excuse me, please. I don't know. I don't know. I was not in the last class, but seriously, I don't understand it. Well, I'm trying to understand. I'm
So
trying to understand. If it
what
doesn't,
don't you understand?
ah, let's say, let's say everything. Let me just say everything. I think I understand Angie, but I don't understand. What's it called? I understand that they understand kind of not understanding objects. It's kind of complicated because objects and the continue. I don't know what the difference. I don't really understand the object. For me, I just see array and everything the same thing. But array is written in horizontal lines and object is vertical. So I don't understand the difference
Come back,
between both of them.
come back. Well done.
That's me.
Have my hands are up. Chinam, so what
Um,
yeah, so I was
sorry,
saying on
but
this about the function stuff. Sorry,
yeah,
can you go back to the code?
okay.
in that console log, when you call the function with the values 5, 6, 7, like can you like make a step-by-step procedure where how the function is run? Does it assign the values in that place, like actual where the taking the zip property, like the atom, then the open brackets, and then execute the code.
Okay.
After you call in the function with a value, then where does it go to next?
I'll do that. Let me get you that. Okay. I'll find everything and explain from top again. Someone was trying to do something earlier.
Yeah, what's up? Well, I don't know. I just want to because yesterday's recording was not uploaded. It's
Okay.
actually kind of frustrating, you know. Yesterday I could not finish because I had to. My battery was low, thinking that I'll get, you know. It helps, you know, if we can just upload this thing as soon as possible against the next class, you know. We can watch it and know how to navigate on finding this, you know, resources out there are just broad. So, you know, this just help us to narrow about, okay, not narrow really, but just know where we are searching for, and, you know,
I apologize.
pinpoint that. Yeah. So
This
this is not the first time this is happening. This is not the first time, even in CSS class, everything. So that's my two.
So I apologize on behalf of Julie. We are going to make classes. You understand? But I'm going to go over this and explain from top. And I promise you, yeah, what we did yesterday, in as much as they're like foundations, at least having an idea of where we're going to do. If you watch yesterday's class and merge it into this class, I'm sure it will make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then tomorrow, what we are going to do is that we're going to do like an holistic overview of what was discussed on Tuesday and today. Do you understand? So what I want you guys to do for me is, after this class, I'll talk to Mr. Shea, then he's going to upload both videos immediately. You guys can watch it together. Then tomorrow, we are going to do like an in-depth analysis of what we discussed Tuesday and Wednesday. Then I'll push some assignments out to make you guys understand better. Is that right?
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Candy, you have your hands up.
Sorry, please, is the return keyword that is used there. I didn't get it. There's some function like what you said. Then
Yes,
also you promised to send the syllabus for the JavaScript. You didn't do that.
Apologize. Apologize. Adama, you have your hands up. I'm taking
Yes,
you last
so the hand, yes, the hand has been up for quite a while. Okay, so
Okay,
there was
not
can you hear me?
Yeah, I said you have not been.
No. So there was something, it was it Chinonso or Denny, I can't recall who said it, that you should explain the function from each of the line of how the code is run and all that. So I think one of the reasons why everybody seems to be not getting it somehow is because we have not really gotten what we are trying to achieve. That's one. Maybe you could try this approach of from an answer to a question. That is you solve a problem and then you explain it. Maybe that will now bring more of the attention.
Be more confusing. But all right, I'll try my best to see it again.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for doing this. So I'll go over array and the objects. Then it seems how all will do because of I don't speak this too much. So an array, like I explained earlier, one array is more or less like a tree. And I explained, and I was saying that you have a visitor in your house and you want to serve them. What you do first is to get a tray, then put your water on top, put your rice, put your soup, your meat, whatever you want to serve them, the array. So the array is more or less like a folder that holds multiple items. And that's like the simplest way I can explain that to you guys. So the array can hold different type of data, and this is why I illustrated to you in this line. Do you understand? And for the object, take the object as like a profile or an ID card. Let's say you pick up an ID card now. You know, an ID card, you see the name, age, let's say your driver's license or your PVC. Yeah, and things to indicate that this particular ID card is for this person. Think of an object that has like a profile or an ID card or something that holds many data, but it gives it a key and a value. So this is an object now as I defined here. So this particular object is person, and this person has the name of fine. This same person age is 30. This same person's height is 5'11", favorite food is rice, and the school they attended is. So what I've done basically is that I've grouped all these data types into an object, indicating it with a key and the value. So object basically is just saying, okay, you want to decide an object, you start by saying const JS, let's say JS class. Then you put an equal to, then you put a curly brace. Now, there's a difference between this and there's a difference between const JS class is equal to this. Now we have an error here. Who can quickly tell us why we have an error? Oh, sorry. Let's start. So we have an error here. You can tell why we have an error.
Because you use the same variable name.
Thank you very much. So I'm doing this just to give you guys like an overview. Especially guys that missed this class, at least you pick up some things what we discussed. So if you are naming your variable, it's const especially and let's don't use the same variable. So say JavaScript plus 1. Now, if you notice, this is how you initialize an array. You use square brackets. What is square brackets? Here. Square brackets. And if you want to initialize an object, this is how you initialize an object. It's coily braces. Let's call it.
It's calling CUR.
Yes. So this is how you initialize a object and array. So there are two different ways of initializing it. Now, for an array, let's just go on and this like let me say the first 10 people in this class. So I'll go on with divine, I'll go on with Phoebe, or let's say Abel, I'll go on with Kenley, I'll go on with Adama, I'll go on with Abibola, let's go on with Abibola. And let's go on with Adini. So what I've done is now is an array holding names of everybody or first 7 people. Just that's now. So it's a different method or a different site. Reason is it's just holding the items. You don't know who is who. So it's divine a boy or a girl. You can't say because there's no indication here. Now I can come and say this is an object. Now this object has voice. Voice is also an object, and this object has girls. Girls is also an object. So now what I've done is I've indicated 2 objects inside an object. If it's confusing, I'll leave it like this, and I'll do something very easy. So this object now, let's say our students are this. We have JS class, we have student staff at this. Then we have the tutors also. And the tutor is also an array that, let's say, C tutor, let's say, Toby is a tutor, let's say, Sleeping is a tutor, then let's see, I'm a tutor. So if you notice now, this object is holding different items, and it's quite different from what we have here. We have an object holding students, we have an object holding tutors, We also have an object holding voice an object and get an object. Now we can come here and say under this voice names, then I can say name of the boy is fine. Fine. Look, now you're not getting sorry. Let me use Abel. So name of a boy is Abel. I'm just picking Abel as a case study now. So I can say, okay, age for my favorite. Let me just do favorite boy, favorite name. Just to make it. And I spoke about naming your variables so that it's naming your variables to tell like the attributes. You are saying Abel, what's Abel? So I'm saying Abel the favorite name. My name is here. Age of Abel, let's say is 50. Then we can come and say school, we can say Zoom. So what I've done now is that I've given this I'm in a profile, and this profile is holding the students, tutors, boys and girls. I can still replicate stuff here now. I can come here and paste this and just change the name to find and change the let's say 25.
Hello, sorry, the F in the favorite, it should not, will it not be small letter?
The what in the what?
F, favorite name, favorite,
Yes, God bless
it
you for
should
that.
not be.
It's ideally can be small letter. Thanks for making that up. You guys now you try. So yes, you should start your names with small letter. As I mentioned yesterday. Perfect. Thanks for reminding me. So basically, this is an object rather that holds different items. So we have an array in an object. We have two arrays in an object, an array of students and an array of tutors. We also have a boy object and a girl object. But what you note here is that an object is more like a profile or a large room that groups things particularly. So this is the key and this is the value. This is the key and this is the value. Now this is the key and this is the value. But the value is also an object. Hence, there's a key and there's a value. So think of it like an array is a tree that holds items, but an object is a larger tray that holds different items, but are more specific because they have a key, a value. I think I've explained. But if you don't still understand, then maybe tomorrow we'll still talk because I'm just giving an overview. I've not started talking about objects itself because for the object, for the function, and for the array, I'll still have to discuss the method involved and things you can do with them, like how to change the name of favorite name from Abel to Adama, how to change the age, those kind of things. But this is like an overview. So if you don't understand, it's completely fine because we'll still go over it again on the more that just. And for the functions now, let me clean this and start off explaining from top again. So we have a function now, and this function has three letters. Let's use this one so you don't confuse this. I'll leave this one for sake of search. I'll comment it out, but I'll use this one here. So we have a function. Like I said, this is your initializer, it's your variable, and this particular bracket we are seeing here can be empty. Do you understand? And it can hold value. Now, for an empty object, let me say handle login. So for instance, we are making a sign up page and you need to handle login. And inside this login function now, or this login function, you have to handle the check. So if the user enters the correct email and the correct password, this is where you do all the check. So basically, we don't return anything here. And that's why some have return keyword and some don't. What signifies or what facilitates that if there's an action to carry with the value you are expecting, so it's not in all cases. Some cases you might also get value here to use to verify what you did here. Do you understand? You don't necessarily need the return keyword. But the return keyword in this case now is that we need to get the values for what we need A and C to. Now, you mentioned that we have this bit of let's change it to add 3 letters, 3 numbers. Now, if you notice, there's 1, 2, 3. There are 3 properties here. So I'm expecting 3 properties. But what is function expecting is 3 properties. Now we're going to practicalize this by entering more than 3 and less than 3, and let's see what happens. But on a normal day or a normal situation, what it does that the first item you enter matches A, second item you enter matches B, the third item you enter matches C. So if you enter them linearly like this, what happens is that each item here picks its own. So it's like husband and wife. This is the husband, the wife. Do you understand? So as you see his wife, come. He's gonna pick 5. You go back to B2. B sees his wife, then go down, and pick his wife. C sees his wife, go down, and pick his wife. So now you have A with his own, B with his own, C with his own. Do you understand? So automatically now the values for this one becomes 5, 6, and 7. So if you come here and just say A plus C, you've used the value now, you brought them down and say A plus B plus C. But what actually happened? Because what stays in Rome, or what happens in Rome stays in Rome. Now this is Rome. Anything happening here now is just happening here. You can't leave because what you're now returning the value. Returning the value simply means that okay, once you perform this action, let me give it to the function. So if we need it in the future, then the function can say, okay, see what I've done, and I've done is finished. They've returned the value back to me. Now take it and use it. Do you understand? That's just the way to simplify it. The return function basically can say, okay, A plus B plus C, do something. After you've done what you're supposed to do, let me take it outside. I explained something yesterday about the function variables, and I said some variables that we define now are not accessible outside the particular function. What we've done here now is just initialize variable, and anything that will happen now is just happening inside. Do you understand? So for it to expose it, for it to know, okay, these are 3 numbers now, hold it and take, you have to use the return keyword. So the return keyword basically now is collecting the action, holding the action, and exposing the action. Do you understand? So that's like a simple way to put it. Return, collect the action, hold the action, and expose the action. So now, if we do this ordinary, like was written earlier, and let us console log. Let's come back and see console log this. Let me check it with another console, no more console. Then if I check my browser, you see undefined, because yes, they are undefined. We don't know what's supposed to happen because we're not returning it. The browser does not know what's happening inside that function because it's just secluded. It's just happening inside and it's not exposed. But the moment we add this return keyword now, I'll say done. Do your own math or do your multiplication, whatever you're doing. Once you finish it, give me let go. So what happens now is this return now say, okay, Mr. Atkinson, my boys I don't know, see what they got. Atkinson hold it. So once you hold it, say, okay, yes, I have the value now. So you can particularly use this any other place. And let's go back and check. You have 18. You can still come back and say, okay, let's do this again. And let's say 10, 12, or 10, 15, and 20. Now you note that what was it? Because we have 18 first. And if we go back to our console, see 2 values, 18 and 45. We can do as much as possible. And only what we get is addition of this. Using this. These values are attached to this. And anything that happens outside this, now you have to give it the value to return. Then you don't expose it to the outside. Because this console log now is not happening inside the function. Do you understand? And another trick, once you return a value, anything you do below it does not matter. and I'll illustrate that to you guys now. So let me take this console log. Let me take it under. If you notice, the color changes. It's not bright, it's dim, like nothing. Meaning that once it gets to this return keyword, it does not read anything that happens below it again. It's done. So what I'm expecting is once the action is completed and this this semicolon, anything that happens after that is not my business. What I'm concerned about is this. So if you perform any action after the return keyword, the browser does not see it, does not concern itself with it. Only what it concerns itself with is what is above and in the line of the return. And I'll illustrate if I carry one up now, notice it becomes brighter. If I pass it down, it becomes dimmer, meaning that anything that happens below the return does not matter anymore. So hence this dim light. Now I would have explained this to you guys, but to give you guys work to do, because it would be unfair for me to just put JavaScript basically what you have to practicalize. You might see videos, watch tutorials, read, but if you don't get your hands dirty, yeah, you won't get it. What I intend doing is pass two values and see what will happen, and pass more values and see what will happen. But I'll leave it to you guys. Do you understand? So what I'm expecting you guys to do now is to take this function, then play with it, add more values that you have on your property here, add lesser values that you have on your property here. Notice the behavior. If you have an error, check the meaning of the error. So let's say, for instance, now, let me see. I'll leave this out. I'll console log water. I'll console log water. Now, as we noted before, we don't have anything assigned to water. So if we go back to our browser, just get an error. And the error say reference error, water is not defined. The beauty of this is if copy everything here, copy, paste it on Google. Somebody asked this question or somebody had this error 10 years ago. So there's nothing practically that might think you are facing as a bug or as an error that something or somebody has not had before and try to solve it. And talk about places like one of the most resourceful websites for developers. So if I click on it now, I can check why. Because many people will come and answer, okay, this is why you don't have this. Now let's check. Check. This is the most common case for my error. Precedes the function of the body is not quite close. Blah, 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 blah. If you check everything here, somebody somewhere has explained why this particular error, that is this particular error. Do you understand? In our case now, what I'm facing that error is that it didn't define our water. Water holds no variable. So you can't say, okay, use water. Water is what? Water is how? Water is where? The browser does not know. That's why I guess it's reference error. Water is not defined. Do you understand? So what we'll do now is, and it's just, I'm not asking you guys for the assignment, but most likely tomorrow when we come back, we'll discuss it at personal level. But I want you guys to try this. Enter lesser numbers, enter more numbers, and notice the behavior. And that's where we'll stop today. I intend to do arrays, but we don't have time. Hopefully tomorrow we'll give an overview, then we'll continue to more stuff. Any question? And
Last question. Sorry. In that function block, like I think you had like multiple operations. You have to return each of these operations, like return maybe this A minus B, return A minus
They
B.
can only one return keyword. Okay, for instance, now yeah, let's do something. I don't want to this I don't want to go to because I have to treat the function separate. I have to treat object separate and array separate. This question you're asking me now, if I start explaining now, I might take more time. But no, you don't have to return everything. There are cases you have to return single thing one by one. So for instance now, let's say on admit. You can add your return keyword here. Then you can come here and do something. Say anything. So if you notice now, we have multiple return here, but notice how I'm doing it. They are all inside a particular function. Do you understand? So if I come here and say return, notice what happens. If I come and say, everything below it becomes insignificant. Do you understand? So on the mother body, I already have one. But if your function is performing multiple functions, like this particular function now, adding nodes, removing nodes, you can have return function inside particular function. Do you understand? But as the parent function, you can only have one return, and this is the return here. If you start doing DSAs, like data structure algorithm, there are cases where you have to check data coming in, and for every data coming in, you have to turn a value if it's a condition. Do you understand? So you can have basically several return values based off a particular condition. For this condition, you're adding nodes, you have to do this. You're removing nodes, you have to do this. Maybe after all this thing is done, then return maybe the nodes remaining. Do you understand? This is like a simple example. We'll still go deeper into all this, but if you have an idea what I'm saying, you get it.
Yeah.
So I have a question too.
Yeah.
So what if we decide like to use letters instead of numbers, like in the console.log? If we decide to change like 10, 15, and 20 by like EFG, what will be the outcome or the output by doing so? Will the letters be displayed on our web pages, or what will be displayed there?
Yeah, so why writing on our board on our screen? Simple and short. Let's just switch A. Let's just A. Let's go back to our board. Can you see?
Okay. Yeah, see.
I'll take one more question before we go rather.
But sorry, it's displaying blank in my this thing. I'm not seeing responsive. This thing is showing blank. That preview.
Guys, can you see blank?
Yes, it's blank.
I'm asking other guys. Guys, can you see blank? But I'm seeing ABC there. Am I the only one seeing ABC there?
I'm seeing the letters.
I can see it at the side, but I'm seeing like a blank white screen. That's what I've been looking at. So I'm wondering that what are we like? Why is it not showing?
I'm not working with this. You're working with the console. So I explained it earlier. The console you're working on. We're not working on. We are working on web pages. So as that's why we have this average.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, and sorry, I have one question. Like, I'm a total beginner as regards front end, right? So I want to know, like, what is the primary function of JavaScript?
You know what happened? Let me just say, so basically, primary function of JavaScript is just to add functionality and activities to your website. So if you click on something, it works. You toggle something, it works. You want to perform an action, you want to press something, it works. That's just JavaScript. Do you understand?